Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to lean in right now, because what I'm about to share with you is not just information, it's transformation. Every single morning, before the world speaks into your life, you need to speak into your own. Because if you don't tell yourself who you are, the world will try to convince you that you are less than what God created you to be. And I refuse to let somebody else define me when the creator of the universe already gave me my identity. When you wake up in the morning, the very first thought that enters your mind is the most powerful seed you will plant for the rest of your day. And here's the truth. Too many people begin their mornings by letting their circumstances dictate their identity. They look at their bank account, they look at their failures, they look at their mistakes, and they silently declare, "This is who I am." But that's not who you are. You are not your bank account. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are what God says you are. And if you don't remind yourself of that truth every single day, the world will rush in to hand you a false identity that will chain you to mediocrity. Think about it. The world is loud. The world screams at you through the news, through social media, through people who gave up on their own dreams a long time ago. It shouts at you, "You're not enough. You can't make it. It's too late. You don't have what it takes." If you're not intentional about starting your morning with identity, you'll unconsciously accept those lies and live like they're true. And here's the hook. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. If you see yourself as broke, you'll behave broke. If you see yourself as weak, you'll act weak. If you see yourself as defeated, you'll live defeated. But if you wake up and declare, "I am strong, I am favored, I am chosen, I am capable," then even in the face of trials, you will walk like someone who knows the outcome has already been secured. This isn't about hype, it's about alignment. Every morning is an opportunity to align your mind with your God-given purpose. Imagine a pilot setting his coordinates just a few degrees off. The plane will miss the destination by hundreds of miles. That's what happens when you start your morning without identity. You drift off course and end up in places you were never meant to be. But if you lock in your true identity, your day becomes a runway for destiny. Now, I want you to think back to a time in your life when you accomplished something you didn't even think was possible. Maybe it was graduating when the odds were stacked against you. Maybe it was surviving a hardship that could have broken you. Maybe it was taking a step of faith when everyone else doubted you. What carried you through wasn't your circumstance. It was the belief, even if small, that you were capable of more than what the world said. That belief came from identity. You were operating out of who you were, not what you were going through. And let me ask you this. What would happen if you chose to live every single day like that instead of waiting for rare moments of inspiration? What would happen if you trained your mind every morning to declare your true identity before your circumstances had a chance to lie to you? You'd stop being reactive and start being proactive. You'd stop letting fear dictate your steps and start letting faith set your pace. You'd stop seeing yourself as a victim of the world and start moving like a creator, a builder, a person on assignment. The secret is this: Your mornings are not neutral. They either program you for power or they program you for passivity. And the way you claim power is by choosing identity over circumstance. So when your alarm goes off tomorrow, don't roll over and check social media. Don't immediately feed your mind with the noise of other people's lives. Look in the mirror and declare, I am not defined by what I see. I am defined by what God put inside me. I am not my fear, I am my faith. I am not my failure, I am my future. Speak it until you believe it. Believe it until you live it. Live it until the world has no choice but to see it. Because here's the truth that will set you free. Every day you step into is a reflection of the identity you've chosen to wear. So don't let your past dress you. Don't let your circumstances clothe you. Put on the armor of your real identity and walk into your day with the confidence that you are already enough. And when you do, your life will begin to reflect the greatness you were designed for. When you open your eyes in the morning, before you even step out of bed, there's a decision that has to be made. That decision is whether you are going to live today like it's just another day to survive, or like it's a divine opportunity to thrive. The second thing you must tell yourself every single morning is this: today is not ordinary. Today is a gift. And that may sound simple, but the truth is most people never understand the weight of those words. They wake up like they have an endless supply of tomorrows, so they waste today. They sleepwalk through their hours, treating them like they can be replaced. But let me drop this on you. Time is the only resource you can never get back. You can lose money and make more. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But when a day passes, it is gone forever. That's why when your feet hit the ground in the morning, you must remind yourself that today matters, and it matters more than you think. Think about it this way. There are people right now lying in a hospital bed praying for one more day, the very day that you and I are living. There are people who didn't wake up this morning. That means if you did, you've been entrusted with something sacred. And the real question is, what are you going to do with it? Will you waste it scrolling, complaining, worrying about things you can't change? Or will you seize it like the gift it truly is? Because here's the hook. How you treat today is proof of how you value your life. If you disrespect today, you're disrespecting your destiny. But if you honor today, you unlock doors for tomorrow. I want you to imagine for a moment that someone gave you a check for $86,400 every morning. But with one condition: you must spend it all before midnight or it disappears. Would you let that money sit untouched? Of course not. You'd invest it, use it, multiply it. But here's the reality. Every morning, God deposits 400 seconds into your account. And the tragedy is that too many people waste those seconds as if they'll always be there. They don't realize that every tick of the clock is an invitation to create, to grow, to love, to impact. Every second you waste on fear, on regret, on distraction is a second you've robbed yourself of. Now let me bring this closer to home. Think about the times in your life when you've said, I'll start tomorrow. I'll chase my dream tomorrow. I'll fix my health tomorrow. I'll build my relationships tomorrow. How many times has tomorrow come and gone and nothing changed? That's because tomorrow is a liar. Tomorrow makes promises it can't keep. The only power you have is today. The only time you can create, act, or change is right now. That's why the most dangerous mindset you can ever have is postponing your purpose. Here's what I've learned. The people who achieve greatness aren't always the smartest, the wealthiest, or the most talented. They're the ones who respect today enough to use it fully. They wake up and decide that their dream won't wait. They know that small actions done daily add up to massive transformation. They treat every sunrise as permission to build the life they were created for. And that's the exact mindset you must adopt if you want to stop living beneath your potential. So when you get up tomorrow morning, don't say, I have to go to work or I have to get through the day. Shift it. Say, I get to use my mind. I get to use my gifts. I get to impact someone's life. I get to create. Because when you shift from obligation to opportunity, your energy changes. You stop dragging your feet and start walking with purpose. You stop looking for reasons to quit and start finding reasons to move forward. The power of telling yourself, today is a gift, is that it reframes your perspective. Suddenly, the obstacles you face don't feel like punishments. They feel like chances to grow stronger. The challenges aren't signs to stop. They're training grounds for your destiny. And the people who test your patience aren't there to break you. They're there to build your character. Every moment becomes a chance, and every chance becomes a step forward. So the next time you catch yourself wishing the day away, remember that you'll never see this one again. This exact sunrise, these exact 24 hours, this exact opportunity to speak, to act, to build will never repeat. And if you waste it, you'll look back and realize the biggest thief of your dreams wasn't failure, it was neglect. But if you seize it, if you step into today like it's the treasure it truly is, then your life will begin to look less like survival and more like the masterpiece it was meant to be. Every morning when you rise, there's a battle waiting for you. It's not against the world, not against your boss, not even against your circumstances. The battle is against the voice inside your head that tells you you're not enough. That's why the third thing you must tell yourself every single morning is this: I am capable, I am worthy, and I am built for this. Because if you don't affirm it, life will do everything in its power to make you forget it. Here's the truth. Your greatest enemy is not the obstacles outside of you, but the disbelief within you. And if you don't conquer that disbelief daily, it will rob you of the very future you were designed to create. Think about it. Every person who has ever achieved greatness faced the same doubts you wrestle with. The entrepreneur who built $1 billion business questioned whether they had what it takes. The leader who transformed nations had moments where they felt unqualified. The artist, the athlete, the innovator, all of them heard the whispers of inadequacy. The difference is they answered back. They didn't let the lie of, I can't, go unchallenged. They declared to themselves, I am capable, I am equipped, I am ready. And that daily declaration rewired their minds for victory instead of defeat. Let me ask you something. What would change in your life if every morning, instead of waking up with the heaviness of your past failures, you reminded yourself of the strength already inside you? What if you looked in the mirror and said, I'm not here by accident. I've survived too much. I've overcome too much. I've learned too much to doubt myself now. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. That's you agreeing with the truth of your own potential instead of partnering with the lies of your limitations. And here's the hook. The world doesn't respond to who you doubt you are. It responds to who you decide you are. Now let's get real. You and I both know that life will test you. There will be days when the plan falls apart, when people disappoint you, when your best effort doesn't give you the results you expected. And in those moments, if you haven't already built the habit of affirming your worth, those setbacks will convince you that you're not enough. But if you've trained yourself every morning to declare, I am capable, I am worthy, I am built for this, then failure doesn't break you. It trains you. Rejection doesn't diminish you. It redirects you. Every blow becomes a blessing because you've already decided that nothing can disqualify you from the destiny you were created for. Consider this: a diamond is only formed under pressure. Steel is only strengthened by fire. And you too are refined by the challenges you face. The fact that life hasn't been easy for you isn't proof that you're weak. It's evidence that you're being forged into someone stronger than most. Every scar, every setback, every sleepless night has been shaping you for the very thing you're about to step into. That's why you can't afford to let self-doubt sabotage you. Because if you could see the future that's waiting for you, you'd stop hesitating and start walking in boldness today. I want you to remember something powerful. The fact that you woke up this morning means you have unfinished assignments. If you weren't capable, if you weren't worthy, if you weren't built for this, you wouldn't even be here right now. The very breath in your lungs is proof that heaven is still counting on you. So stop disqualifying yourself because of what you don't have and start realizing that what you do have is already enough to begin. Because here's the reality: you don't need all the answers to start. You just need the courage to take the first step. So tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you open your inbox, before you let the noise of the world crowd your mind, I want you to look yourself in the mirror and declare it. I am capable. I am worthy. I am built for this. Say it until you believe it. Say it until your actions reflect it. Say it until the world has no choice but to adjust to the strength of your conviction. Because when you affirm your worth every day, you're not just preparing yourself for success. You're becoming unstoppable. Every single morning, when you open your eyes, you are standing at the edge of two worlds: the world of excuses and the world of execution. The difference between the two is not how much talent you have, not how much money you have, not even how many connections you have. The difference is your decision to take action. That's why one of the most powerful things you must tell yourself every morning is this: today I will move forward. Today I will not stay stuck. Today I will act. Because nothing changes until you change what you do. You can dream, you can plan, you can talk about it all day long, but the universe doesn't respond to your intentions. It responds to your actions. Here's the truth. Most people live in a waiting room. They're always waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting until they feel ready. But let me drop something on you. Waiting is the enemy of winning. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll wait for the rest of your life. The people who create extraordinary results are not the ones who had everything figured out. They are the ones who started when it was messy, when it was uncertain, when it was uncomfortable. And here's the hook. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built with imperfect action, not perfect plans. Think about how many ideas have died in people's notebooks. Think about how many dreams have been buried in the graveyard because somebody said, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't exist. It's just a comfortable lie we tell ourselves to excuse our fear. The only day you've ever had to act is today. So the question isn't, will you do it when the conditions are right? The question is, will you do it right now in spite of the conditions? Because that's what separates those who watch life happen from those who make life happen. Let me be real with you. Action is scary. Action will make your heart race. Action will put you in situations where you don't feel qualified. But that's the point. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you stretch, when you risk, when you do what you thought you couldn't. Every act of courage rewrites the story of your life. Every bold step forward creates momentum that excuses can never stop. And here's the thing, momentum is a miracle worker. The first step might feel heavy, but once you take it, the next one gets easier. Before long, you're not crawling, you're walking. Then you're not walking, you're running. And eventually, you're soaring in places you never imagined you could go. Picture this, a rocket uses almost all of its fuel just to break free from the pull of gravity. The first few minutes of launch are the hardest, the most draining, the most expensive. But once it breaks free, it enters a place where resistance is almost non-existent. That's what action does for you. At first, it feels like everything is pulling against you. Your fear, your doubts, your environment. But once you push through that initial resistance, you enter into a flow where progress becomes natural. That's why you can't afford to keep putting it off. Your breakthrough is waiting on the other side of your first bold step. Every time you wake up and say to yourself, today I will act, you're building a new identity. You're teaching your mind and your body that you are not someone who waits. You are someone who creates. You are not a dreamer who sits on the sidelines. You are a doer who steps into the arena. And that shift in identity changes everything. Because when you see yourself as a person of action, you stop letting fear dictate your decisions and start letting faith drive your destiny. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm clock goes off, don't hit snooze on your dreams. Don't roll over into another day of hesitation. Tell yourself, today I will move forward. Today I will not stay stuck. Today I will act. Say it until you believe it. Say it until your actions prove it. Because the life you want isn't waiting for you tomorrow. It's waiting for you to take action today. When you wake up every morning, you need to remind yourself of this undeniable truth. I am stronger than my circumstances. Because here's the reality. Life is not going to ask for your permission before it throws storms your way. Challenges don't schedule an appointment. Struggles don't knock politely at your door. They show up uninvited and they test you at your core. But the question is not whether the storm will come. The question is whether you will rise above it or let it bury you. And the hook is this: strength is not built in the sunshine, it's forged in the storm. Every time you face a difficulty, you have two choices. You can surrender and let it define you, or you can stand tall and let it refine you. Life doesn't break you because of what it throws at you. Life breaks you only when you decide that the weight is too heavy to carry. But I promise you, the weight you think is crushing you right now might just be the very thing that strengthens you for the future you've been praying for. That obstacle in front of you, it isn't your enemy, it's your training partner. It's here to stretch you, to shape you, to prepare you for the bigger stage. Most people spend their lives wishing their problems away, but champions use problems as stepping stones. They don't ask, why me? They ask, what can this teach me? How can this grow me? How can this challenge turn me into a person who is unshakable? Because when you build that mindset, you stop being afraid of hard times and start welcoming them as the opportunities they really are. Imagine steel being forged in fire. If the fire is too gentle, the steel never hardens. But if the fire is hot enough, it strengthens the metal until it becomes unbreakable. That's you. Every hardship, every setback, every painful season is fire, but it's not meant to destroy you. It's meant to make you unbreakable. And let me tell you, the people who rise to greatness are not the ones who avoided the fire. They're the ones who walked through it and came out stronger on the other side. I want you to think about the most inspiring stories you've ever heard. Are they stories of people who had no problems, no setbacks, no struggles? Of course not. They are stories of people who faced unbelievable odds, and instead of giving up, they decided, this will not defeat me. This will define me. That's what makes their story powerful. That's what makes their legacy last. And guess what? You have the same opportunity to create a story that inspires others. Not because life was easy for you, but because you were strong enough to stand when life tried to knock you down. Here's the hook you need to carry with you. The measure of your strength is not how you act when everything is going right. The true measure of your strength is how you respond when everything seems to be falling apart. Anybody can smile when life is good, but can you stand tall when the ground is shaking beneath you? Anybody can believe when the sun is shining, but can you keep your faith when the night feels endless? That's where strength is proven. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, I want you to look in the mirror and declare, I am stronger than my circumstances. I am not a victim of my situation. I am a creator of my future. My struggle is not my identity. My strength is my identity. Say it until your soul believes it. Because the moment you decide that nothing outside of you is bigger than what's inside of you, you become unstoppable. The world may throw storms, but you are the storm. Life may try to break you, but you are unbreakable. Every morning when you wake up, you need to remind yourself of this truth. Today is not just another ordinary day. Today is an opportunity that will never come back again. Once it's gone forever. That's why you must say to yourself, I will maximize every single moment today, because time wasted is life wasted. And here's the hook. You don't have unlimited time. You may think you do, but you don't. That clock is ticking, and every tick is a piece of your life you'll never get back. The question is, will you use it or will you lose it? People often overestimate tomorrow and underestimate today. They say, I'll start next week. I'll try again tomorrow. I'll begin when things are better. But let me ask you, what if tomorrow never comes? What if the only chance you had to create, to grow, to live fully was today? Because that's the reality. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. And when you start living with that kind of urgency, you stop procrastinating and start producing. You stop waiting and you start winning. Think about this, the most successful people you know don't have more hours in their day than you do. They have the same 24. The difference is not time, it's how they use it. Some people treat every hour like a gift, while others treat every hour like it's disposable. But those who win in life are the ones who squeeze every ounce of potential out of each day. They understand that minutes matter, that hours are the currency of destiny, and that how you spend your time is how you spend your life. If you want to change your life, you don't need a new year, you don't need a Monday, you don't need perfect conditions. You need to own the day you're given, because success is not built in giant leaps. It's built in daily steps. It's not what you occasionally do that changes your life. It's what you consistently do. Small habits, repeated every day, lead to massive results. That's the secret of discipline, and discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. Here's the hook. Time will either be your best friend or your worst enemy. If you honor it, it will multiply your life. If you waste it, it will drain your life. Think about how many people look back with regret, saying, if only I had used my time better. If only I hadn't wasted those years. Don't let that be your story. Your future self is depending on your present decisions. Right now, you are writing the script of the life you will live 5 years from today. And every morning when you wake up, you are holding the pen. You have to understand this. Life is not waiting for you. Opportunities will not stand around until you feel ready. Time will not pause until you decide to move. Every moment you hesitate, someone else is moving forward. Every moment you delay, someone else is taking the spot you were supposed to fill. And if you don't step into your moment, it will pass you by. The train doesn't wait at the station forever. Either you get on or you get left behind. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't just drag yourself into the day as if it's routine. Rise with fire. Rise with urgency. Rise with the awareness that today could be the day that changes everything for you. Say to yourself, I will not waste this day. I will not waste my life. I will maximize every second because this day will never come again. If you live that way, not someday, not tomorrow, but every day, then you will build a life of meaning, a life of purpose, a life of greatness. Because the truth is, your life is not made up of years. It's made up of days. And what you do with this day determines what your life will become. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up, rise up, speak up. Declare who you are and whose you are. Because when you start your day with power, there's no force on earth that can stop you from walking into your destiny. Now go live like the person you keep telling yourself you are, because that, my friend, is who you were created to be.